welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how to build client acquisition systems for your company. So if you run a B2B company or any company, for as long as you sell services to other companies, of course you would be a B2B company, this video is for you. Stick with me, because by the end of this video we are going to add way more clients into your company than you can ever fathom. So me and my business partner work with B2B companies, helping them build client acquisition systems to get them more clients. So if you're interested in getting more clients for your business, probably this is the video that you should be watching right now. And we are actually on a great marathon to add an extra $1 million aggregate revenue in our clients' companies using these very systems. So if you would probably want to be our partner at some point in time, stick with us and let's see what comes next. So just a quick intro right here. We work with B2B companies that sell super expensive services. So this is me right here. My name is Emmanuel Kateta. I am a B2B client acquisition expert, and here is Maurice, my business partner, also a B2B client acquisition expert. We founded a company called Acquisition Founders. So basically what we do is very simple. We help B2B companies acquire more clients, right? So super expensive is subjective, right? So no worries, you can click the link in the description after watching this video later if at the end of this video you think your company would actually need our help to get you more clients. So let's actually dive in right now. Our system is going to be built using 4 subsystems, right? We're going to actually build you a client acquisition system using 4 subsystems, right? And these are the very systems we are going to be constantly improving to better results, aka more clients, right? So the first thing here we're actually going to set up is lead generation. So we understand that without leads, obviously you're not going to have prospects. If you don't have prospects, you're not going to have meetings booked. If you don't have meetings booked, you're not going to acquire clients. If you don't acquire clients, you're not going to make money. If you don't make money, your business is not going to grow, right? So the second system here is outreach systems. So we constantly want to reach out to new leads, new prospects, new people, because people are the ones that have the money to pay you. So we're actually going to set this thing intelligently to ensure that you are getting clients, right? So the third is appointment booking system. So if you're you have leads, you are reaching out to those leads and you are not booking appointments, then you're not actually gonna get to the next stage, which is client acquisition. So you want to book your prospects on an appointment, then you present your pitch, you tell them what you do, what you offer, how it's going to benefit them, how it's actually going to alleviate their problems, then boom, people are going to pay you money for that. The next is client acquisition or closing systems. Now that you've booked those leads, those prospects on a call or on a meeting, the ones that we call aka advisory meeting, how do you present yourself? How do you position yourself that you get to acquire them as a client? So we only consider someone as a client when they've pulled money off their wallet or card and paid you money. Now they are a client. So how do you close those clients? So for lead generation, there are so many tools and platforms you can actually use to generate leads, and most of them we're actually going to talk about them right in this video. So at the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you every single little thing you need for you to start generating as many leads as you possibly can. 1,000 leads, 10,000 leads, 100,000, as many leads as you possibly can and as you can handle. So you can generate leads here through Facebook, right? Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Novio, Hunter.io, and so many other platforms, right? People generate leads on Facebook by running ads, by creating content, by instant data scrapping, right? Where you go on YouTube, you search companies one by one, right? You find those companies, you collect their details, you put them on their spreadsheet, then now you engage them via your outreach systems, right? You can also generate as many leads as possible just using instant data scrapping, right? So you can do the same on Instagram, do the same on LinkedIn. You can actually do the same on YouTube, Snovio, Hana.io. So even if you don't have budget to run ads, you can still generate as many leads as you possibly can. Like, we have so many strategies for doing that. We're going to actually show you how it's done, so you can go ahead and start doing that. So when generating leads, you have to factor in your ideal client avatar. So let me give you an example here. So let's say you sell cars and you are getting students you are pitching your cars to students. You are obviously not gonna make money. Your chances of you getting sales from that is low, because now you are reaching out to a wrong audience. So if you sell cars and you're reaching out to business owners, you're reaching out to bankers, accountants, doctors, those people could be your prospective leads, because number one, they have the money to buy your cars. Number two, they probably would want a car either for luxury or just for transportation, they're moving from their home to their office or whatever, right, use. So you have to factor in ideal client avatar. Who is your ideal client before you even start generating the leads, right? So it won't matter if you have 10,000 leads, 100,000 leads, a million leads that don't even care about what you sell, right? So here we want to be very, very careful when generating leads. We want leads that can in turn buy whatever it is that we are selling, right? So the second key factor is volume, right? Reaching out to 1,000 prospects per day is better than 8 prospects per day, right? So if currently you are reaching out to 10 prospects per day, 15, 50, 100, whatever the number could be, so the goal is, how do you 10x your outreach? How do you reach out to way more prospects than you are currently doing? Because one of the ways to shoot or skyrocket the number of meetings or appointments you're booking to increasing your conversion rate is also the amount of volume you are doing, as far as outreach is concerned. So like I said, 1,000 outreaches is better than 8 outreaches. 10,000 outreaches is better than 1,000 outreaches, right? So here you have to understand that results expose themselves in large data sets. You can't just reach out to 100 prospects or leads and start complaining as to why you're not closing clients, like you only did 100. So what if you could do 1,000, 10,000, 20,000? Probably you'd get way more clients than you can ever fathom. And you only know where to reiterate if you have enough information or data about your systems and processes. And the only way you're going to have data about your systems and processes is if you do enough volume, right? If you've been to high school, you obviously the teacher taught you about the dice, right? You learned probability, right? What's the probability that is gonna turn on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? The only way you get closer to accuracy is when you dice the dice as many times as you possibly can. One that rolls the dice a million times is gonna have better results than one that rolls the dice 10 times or 100 times, right? So more is better, volume is better in this case, right? So the second is outreach. So find outreach systems you are going to be using to reach out to your prospects. How exactly are you going to be doing it? It could be through any of the following, but not limited to these. You can either reach out to your emails via email, right? You can reach out to your prospect via emails, right? Because if you are selling to business owners, let's say you run an HR firm, a consulting firm, you run a tech company, you run a consulting firm, any of the company that you're running, and you reach out to other business owners, these people are on their emails every single day. So the point here is that we want to get our messaging, into the hands of the people that we are pitching to, right? So the goal is to get your messaging to the right people, and if they can get that messaging and they can be convinced that they want what you sell or they're interested to hear more from you, then boom, you're getting traction. That's the very first important thing, right? How do you get the messaging of your offer, your service, into the hands of your ideal customer, right? So email is one of the best ways. If I told you sell B2B, direct messaging, here you can direct DM message your prospects, right? You find their phone numbers, however you're gonna do it. Make sure it's ethical, right? You message them, tell them about yourself, tell them about your company, about what you sell, and now boom, strike a conversation. Then book them on an appointment, then you discuss further, then boom, before you know it, you are gonna close them into an actual client, right? So cold calling, you can just pick up a call and call a company. Hey, this is ABCD Consulting. We found you on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. We've noticed that you're actually hiring sales reps. We're actually an HR firm. We help companies with hiring or recruiting and all that. We have a database of potential staff that you can hire. Can you discuss further? Like, just find a proper way of cold pitching, right? Any of these methods do work. It's up to you to pick which one is actually going to fit whatever it is that you're looking for. Door knocking, you can either send your staff to go door knocking companies and get leads, right? Basically any of these work. So here we want to be super disciplined with daily outreach. So one of the hardest things to do as far as outreach is concerned is to stay consistent and disciplined with outreach. So I don't want you to go and do outreach for 5 days, then you post for a month, and again you do for 6 days, and you post for 3 months. Like that, it's not going to work. Trust me, it's not going to work. So you want to be disciplined. You want to do it every single living day, for as long as you're alive, for as long as you can breathe, you have your gadget, you have all your tools. You want to do discipline every single living day. So that's the only way you are going to be getting clients, right? Without outreach, without you communicating your message across to your prospects, you are not going to get clients. So the only way you're going to get clients is if you are going to do outreach. That's the only way, right? So next here is appointment booking. So once you've generated the leads, you've now done your outreach. A few companies have responded to your outreach. They're interested to learn more. Then now you book them on an appointment so you can discuss further, right? So here you want to book an appointment with every prospect that shows interest in your service. Because remember, in your services, because remember here, the people you are reaching out to, for most of them, they don't know who you are, they don't know your company, they don't know what you do, they don't know what you sell, they've never had an interaction with you. So now you want to book them on an appointment so you create that human to human interaction where they get to feel you, right? They get to learn more about what you sell, to learn more about how you're gonna help them solve their problems, to learn more about your unique value positioning, to learn all of these things about your company, about your values, about all of these things, right? So that is the whole essence of the appointment, right? So you call this appointment an advisory meeting or an advisory call, however you want to call it. But in the actual sense, this meeting is actually a sales pitch. We are there to pitch them our service so they can actually pay us money, right? So for you, you want to make it look like it's a value free advisory meeting where they can come and get to ask questions, learn more about how they can solve the problem they're currently struggling with and all that. You want to position it in that angle. Then you pitch them, right? You position yourself as the go-to to actually get to solve the problem, right? So in the actual sense, what we're doing here is a sales pitch, right? In the meeting, you will discuss your prospects' pain points, their dream outcomes. What's their dream outcome? What's their pain point? What are their bottlenecks, right? And pitch your service as the solution to their problem or problems or whatever, right? So that's the whole thing. After you propose your solution in the meeting, every prospect that pulls out their card and pays, congratulations, you now have a client, right? So now you've just acquired one more client right here. So repeat the same process that got you that client again and again and again, so you can get the second client, the third client, the fourth client, the 10th client, and all of that, right? So track exactly what you are doing wrong in what you're doing right, and scale what's working, and improve the broken process. So because what got you to point A may not necessarily take you to point Q, right? So what we want to do here is that we want to look at, in this whole process, what exactly are you doing good at? Is it that you are good at generating high quality leads that meet your clientele? Is it that you are good with appointment booking? Is it that you are good with maybe outreach? So which one amongst these systems is robust, are you good at? Then you scale what you're good at, like you double down on what you're good at. And which one has broken portals, right? And you find a way to fix those portals, so you can actually improve on your system. The more you improve the system, the more you're going to increase your results, aka the clients that you're acquiring. Then you keep reiterating just like that, right? So if you look back and you try to look at the first iPhone Apple ever released, it doesn't look anything close to the iPhone 17, right? So what has Apple done? They've reiterated, they've constantly and consistently improved their gadgets, their devices, and now the newest iPhone 17 is way more expensive compared to the old, the first iPhone. I don't know what it's called, but the first iPhone that Apple released, right? So there have been other iPhones here, the iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone X, iPhone XR, iPhone 11, 13, all the way to the iPhone 17. Obviously there are more iPhones coming, they are still reiterating, right? So the more you reiterate, the more you make your process better, the more efficient they become, and the more compensation you can demand on those systems. You can always do the same with all your services, right? Look, they have consistently reiterated their devices and constantly increased prices for the newest version. You could always do the same, right? So if you want me and my business partner to implement the system with you and get you more clients, right, you can go ahead and use the link in the description below, or email or message us at emmanuelkatita@gmail.com, or call us or message us at +26097674779. Then we're actually going to step into your business and implement these systems and processes on your behalf, right? But before we actually conclude, there are some of these plug and play systems that you can actually plug into your business, measure your metrics, and basically improve your whole system, right? So the first plug and play we have here is what we call the free client acquisition scaling roadmap, right? So a plug and play worksheet for B2B companies ready to acquire more clients. So if you want to acquire more clients, like this plug and play is actually gonna help you with that. So here this worksheet was built to give you complete clarity on exactly where your client acquisition engine stands today, right? And exactly where the gaps are that are quietly costing you revenue, right? It is yours to fill in by hand, right? So I'm gonna grab this and fill it in. Here's a pro tip: don't rush this, right? The companies that get the best and most value from this roadmap are the ones that fill in the real numbers, right? Not guesses. Don't guess numbers, fill in the exact real numbers. If you don't know a number, that itself is useful information. It tells you exactly where to start tracking, right? You get that? So section 1 here, it's your current marketing and advertising strategies. Like, what are you currently doing for your marketing? Is it cold email, cold calling? Are you doing LinkedIn outreach, YouTube, referrals, partnership, or there are others? Like, what exactly? You measure the exact volume per day, exact volume per week, volume per month, and volume per year. You have to put in the exact numbers here. So the second section here is going to show you the sales and system strategies. Like, what exactly are you doing in terms of your sales strategies, right? You explain how do you currently run sales conversions and close deals. How do you do it? What's the exact process? Copywriting, how do you currently draft your marketing messaging, right? Your email messaging, your scripts, your ad copy, your LinkedIn post, and everything. How are you currently doing it? Your marketing, how do you currently communicate your message to the market? what channels are you using, what's the frequency, and what's the tone, like all of that data here. Lead generation, how do you generate leads on a daily basis? What is the actual repeatable activity you do every single day to generate the leads? Then the offer creation, what's the name of your offer, what are the bonuses that you give, what are the guarantees, what do you do to strike agency, and what do you do to spike scarcity, right? So you want to measure all of these. Customer service retention, how do you currently retain customers, and how do you turn existing customers into referral sources? Section three is offer clarity. So what are the pain points that you're currently solving for your clients? Who do you solve it for? Who is your ideal client avatar? Dream outcome, what's their dream outcome? What exactly do they want to achieve? Reduced effort, how much effort does the client need to put in to get the results that you are guaranteeing them? What have you removed from their plate, right? Risk reversal, what guarantee or guarantees reverse the risk for the client and make saying yes the obvious choice, right? So section four, some metrics to track on a daily basis. So cost per lead, what's the cost per lead currently? Appointment booking rate, what's your appointment booking rate? What's the close rate? What's your customer acquisition cost? Total leads generated, total appointments booked, total shows. Total shows is basically out of the booked appointments, how many of those appointments showed up on a meeting, right? Total conversions, aggregate revenue. So out of all the activities you've done, how much money have you made? That's your aggregate revenue, right? So section 5 is document every recurring process. For example, you'll get some SOPs here, standard operating procedures, like the lead generation SOP, outreach and follow-ups SOP, sales core SOP, onboarding SOP, customer service and retention SOP. Then you have this checklist here, the pre-call checklist, onboarding checklist, daily outreach checklist, weekly reporting checklist, and you've got some templates here, the code templates, code email templates, code template scripts, LinkedIn outreach templates, proposal contract templates, and automations. Here you have the CRM pipeline automations, the follow-up sequence automations, the appointment reminder automations, reporting and dashboard automations, like all of these systems, right? Section 6 here, you track strategy performance logs, right? So for each area below, document every strategy you are currently using and be honest about what's working and what isn't, right? This is where real clarity gets created, right? So for example, any of these strategies, for example, cold calls, call email, LinkedIn, YouTube, referrals, partnerships, and others, what's working here, what isn't, notes like what have you noted from what's working, what isn't, right? Appointment booking strategies, are you doing direct booking link? Do you just send a link to your clients to actually put in their details so they can book appointments? Do you do manual call booking, where you just call them, okay, hey, let's book an appointment now? Do you do sales development representative qualified booking? Do you get your SDR or your appointment setter to call your prospects and book them on the call? Do you do automated follow-ups or any other? What exactly do you do to book appointments? Here we want to be clear. Client acquisition strategies, what strategy are you implementing to acquire clients? Is it a discovery call close? Is it a proposal based close? Is it a trial pilot offer where you give your clients a free trial, then from there, boom, when they like the service, they pay, then now you close? How do you do it? Is it a referral close or any other? So what's working, what isn't, and what do you have to note? Then section 7 here is recommendation. Our recommendations. So the companies that win in client acquisition are the ones that give value upfront. So before you ever ask a prospect to buy, teach them what you would tell a client, right? So show them why it matters and be direct about the cost of not implementing it. So this is the foundation of trust, and trust is what closes deals, right? So use the spaces below to draft how you apply this principle across your own marketing and sales process. So exactly, how will you give value upfront in the next 30 days of your outreach? So if you want us to help you, you can always book an advisory call here, right? Then we're going to actually step into your company and help you with client acquisition. So you have another plug and play here, lead generation plug and play worksheet. So a plug and play worksheet for B2B companies ready to diagnose, scale, and 10x the lead generation engine, right? So here you want to grab a pen and a pencil, because this plug and play is built for you to write in. So now this worksheet gives you a single page diagnostic of your entire lead generation engine. Every channel you use, the exact volume each one produces, the software is running behind it, how you score, segment leads, who your dream client really is, and the numbers you need to hit your growth targets, right? So here's a pro tip: fill in the real numbers, no guesses. If a field is blank because you genuinely do not track that number, leave it blank, right? The gap itself is the most valuable insight in this worksheet, so we know exactly where to improve on. So section 1, you have your lead generation channels and software. So which one of these do you use, right? Put in the exact real numbers here. Then the softwares and tools what softwares are you currently use? Here show us the softwares used. Content currently being produced. Do you produce content? If you don't, leave it blank, right? Lead scoring, so score your lead here. So you're gonna use this formula. So it's fit score times fit weight plus engagement score times engagement weight. So fit score measures how closely a lead matches your dream client profile. Is it by industry, company size, budget, authority? Engagement score measures how actively they interact with you, how many times they open your email, how many times they reply to you, how many times they visit your website, how many times they get on the calls you're booking. Each weight factor based on what exactly predicts a closed deal for your business, right? So we want to measure your lead score, then we know who to give the most attention. So lead segmentation and messaging. So right, so we're gonna go ahead and fill in all of these. Your dream client to a T, fill in your dream client here, right? So pain points, what keeps them awake at night, right? Is it low sales, inconsistent lead flow, high customer acquisition cost, poor conversions, staff shortages, scaling problems, high churn, whatever it is, write it here, right? So desired outcomes, what do they desperately want? Is it more appointments, more clients, predictable revenue, better return on investments, growth, automations, market dominance? What do they want, right? Their biggest bottleneck, what is it? What is their biggest bottleneck here? Exactly, to a T, write it down. So section 4, these are key metrics dashboards. So exactly, track total leads generated, appointments booked, conversion rate, total sales, total revenue, total cost per lead, total customer acquisition cost. Exactly, track the exact numbers, right? So target milestone calculator here, right? Okay, just a moment. Exactly, put in your monthly revenue target, average deal value, your close rate, your show up rate, your working days in a month, and boom, here you're not going to have the daily leads needed to hit that target, right? So the daily leads needed for you to hit the target, basically you're going to use this formula: monthly revenue target divided by the average deal value divided by the close rate divided by the show rate divided by the working days in a month, right? So if you have the number of days you're working in a month, the number of outreach you do every single day times 5 days a week times, let's say, whatever number of days per month, then you divide that by the monthly revenue target and the average deal value, then you know the number of outreaches you need to hit every single day for you to actually hit those milestones. Then recommendation here, you want to 10x your leads without compromising quality, right? So always 10x the number of leads you have. Double down on your top scoring channel, not every channel, right? So what's your top scoring channel, then you double on that one. So automate the repeatable, keep the judgment human. So what do you repeat every single day? Is it outreach? Automate that, right? So tighten the fit score filter as volume grows, right? As volume grows, you are obviously going to compromise your lead score, so you want to tighten your lead score even as your volume grows, right? So build content that pre-qualifies before the conversion starts. So right here, content that names the exact pain points and the dream outcomes from section 3 attracts leads who already see themselves in the message, right? Rising average fit score at the point of entry before a single dollar is spent on outreach. Number 5, you want to review the scorecard weekly, not quarterly. Every single week, review your scorecard. Then, if you want a customized, lead generation system, you can go ahead and book an advisory call. And for more plug and plays worksheets available on request, so you can get the appointment booking worksheet, the client acquisition worksheet, referral worksheet, partnership worksheet, main dashboard worksheet, and so many other worksheets that will actually get you more clients if you can only book a call with us, right? So basically, that's exactly how you acquire clients, right? So if you want to acquire clients, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and click the link in the description below, and we're actually going to hop on a call with you and show you exactly what you need to do to book more clients. It's been Emmanuel Kateta here, together with my business partner Maurice Kangawalam. We're here to get your company more clients. Peace out.